Hey sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sin. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the support and love you all give me here. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much. So today, I don't know, I am not in the best mood because after seeing this video, I just knew that some people are sellouts. Some people can just do anything to support palm-colored people, to support the white supremacy movement, and it's quite unfortunate that this person is also a mother. And I just don't understand how Christianity, how they mix Christianity with politics these days. And then the palm-colored people always look for a way to buy somebody, like buy a black person up, because you cannot tell me that they did not pay this woman money to come out to pew all this rubbish. That she is grateful for slavery. That if it was not for slavery, she probably would be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree. And I am asking, how much did they pay you to come up to say something like this? Some people are ready to do anything to the detriment of, they don't even care if other people are dying or what is going on with other people, as long as they are okay. And then I am saying, if you are part of this woman's congregation, if you are a congregation in her church, I don't know if she has a church, but the way she sounds, she probably got a church. If you are people going to this kind of church, you are part of black people's problem. You are part of the people hindering black people's movement. You are part of the people bringing so much troubles to black community. Because I don't see how a mother, if this person were my mother, I definitely would wake up and chase her out of the house if I am the owner of the house. Chase her far away. Because no, it cannot be my mother coming out to say that slavery was a great thing. So now she is aligning with around the Chinese. And now, before I wrote this video, I want you to know that another advisory has been issued to Florida. Black people, please, if you are listening to me, do not go to Florida. It is not a safe place for you. So I'm just going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So straight up, here we'll go.
You can talk about the Holocaust, but the Jews own everything. I thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree. I thank God for slavery. I thank God.
This, above all, is why I want your fucking religion out of politics. I want it out of education. I want it out of government. I want it to be exactly where you kept it at. The church and your motherfucking house. This is why. Because you thanking God for the crack house and you thanking God for slavery. And if it wasn't for slavery, you'd probably be worshiping a tree. You simple fuck. Just say you're not educated and get it the fuck over with. And the fact that Build-A-Bear blockhead Ron DeSantis puts you anywhere near education shows that what I am saying is absolutely true. I want your God out of anything that my tax dollars have to pay for. So you are not leading by faith, you are leading by religion, and religion is a fucking Ponzi scheme. It does not belong in education. It does not belong in governance. It doesn't. It is your bullshit interpretation of a book you may or may not have read once or twice in your life. You are the reason that Florida is now teaching that slavery gave the slaves some really good, life skills. No. Fuck no. This is why I rally so hard against religion. It is a Ponzi scheme. Always has been, always will be. And the fact that y'all want us to take your interpretation of what Skyfather wants and make laws out of that shit, make laws out of words from an invisible fucking person. Nah, I rather we don't. In fact, if you really want to know what I'd rather have, I'd rather you keep that bullshit in your church and in your fucking house. You want to run your life by that? Fine. I have no problem with it. But stop trying to teach my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, somebody else's great-grandkids, somebody else's grandkids, somebody else's kids, that bullshit. Keep that bullshit to yourself. To your motherfucking self. You see, you talking about if it wasn't for slavery, you'd be worshiping a tree, as opposed to slavery happening and you're worshiping your fucking imagination. That bullshit needs to stay where it is and not in governance. I said what I said and I ain't taking it the fuck back.
Straight facts, no chaser. Watch this video. I'll be right back.
Ron DeSantis knows that this is bad for him because his first response was, I didn't do it. I'm not involved in it. We do know that it's a response to his 2022 act, the quote, Stop Woke Act. And we also know that the type of people who are in charge of this overhaul, maybe not Dr. Allen, who you're going to have on tonight, or someone like Kim Daniels, who's on tape saying, I thank God for slavery because without it, I would be in Africa worshiping a tree.
I thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
She's also an anti-Semite. She threw in that Jews own everything, which is a classic trope. But the Florida Department of Education released a statement in response to Kamala Harris's speech saying, she's got it totally off base. It includes, I think, 16 examples of these slaves that learned their skills while they were doing this. And Joshua Stein from Georgetown pointed out that it's riddled with inaccuracies. So first of all, they say James Fortin as an example. He wasn't a slave. He was a sailor in the Revolution. Then we've got a couple of your blacksmiths, by the way, who were not blacksmiths at all. Ned Cobb, he was a sharecropper who became the head of the Alabama Federation Sharecropper Union. An amazing example of achievement. Lewis Latimer as well. He was called a blacksmith slave in the Florida Department of Education piece, but he was an inventor who ended up getting 2 patents and was hired by the Edison Company. It felt to me like
so when I ask him tonight, exactly that, we'll find out exactly what the truth is.
We will. It just felt that they were trying really hard to de-emphasize that the American experience with slavery was so bad. They talk about how much worse it was in other places. It was really bad here. It's like akin to when people say, oh, like Sally Hemings was Thomas Jefferson's girlfriend.
So what do we learn? That they allowed an ex-crack addict who is proud of slavery come up with a curriculum for African American history, along with others, I'm sure. They just used these idiots as the face of it. Why don't you allow black people who know about history? I'm sure there are many on TikTok that will actually take the money to teach you guys exactly what the fuck history is, as opposed to what you guys are trying to do. Racist white people are hiring idiot-ass black people to lead so they can blame black people for this new bullshit history. No. I say no. Fuck that. Black people in Florida, do not allow these idiot-ass black people to be led down a path to reorganize your history, our history, so that white people can be comfortable. This is bullshit. Out of the 3 that she mentioned, they got wrong. One was an abolitionist, entrepreneur, sailor, never in his life was a slave, born free. They called him a slave, right? Ned Cobb, this man was a sharecropper, led one of the unions, right, from sharecropping, an activist, ended up owning his own farm. Why don't you teach that? No, you said this man was what? A blacksmith? There's no blacksmith history within him. Where'd you get that shit from? Then last but not least, blacksmith for Lewis Latimer. Do you understand we would not have the light bulb if it wasn't for Lewis Latimer? Lewis Latimer came up with a filament that allowed the light bulb to stay on. But you can find their history. But for some reason, Lewis Latimer is a slave? No, his father was a slave. He escaped, got caught again, and then eventually his freedom was bought by Frederick Douglass and his people for $400. Please, you can Google. It's fucking easy. And somehow they came up with this man being a blacksmith and not an inventor. God, you guys are horrible. Lewis Latimer was a brilliant inventor. To call him a blacksmith, you should be fired. They should start back over. Florida, you should demand they hire people who know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to black history. And don't allow an ex-crackhead and whoever the fuck is on there. If they got a crackhead on the board to teach you about black history, there's a fucking problem. I speak facts. Straight facts. Fuck your feelings.
Wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
You poor, wretched, miserable, self-loathing woman. I can't speak to worshiping a tree because God only knows the Christians send more than enough missionaries to help Africans find Jesus. But maybe Grandma would have been worshiping Jesus without any hands, which would have been cut off for not gathering enough rubber for Leopold. Ugh.
Holocaust, but the Jews own everything. I thank God for...
Did she really just say that? Yeah, she really just said that. There's so much stuff I want to say to this lady in person. But for anyone who watched that video and thought, oh my God, that exists, yeah, because throughout history, Jewish people were limited in how they were able to make a livelihood. Loans and banking was one of them. So yes, they became excellent at what they do. Because you told a group of people, this is your, out of all the things, we're going to give you like 1, 2, maybe 3 options at most, and you're going to have to deal with them. And they did, and they thrived. And now they're mad because they thrived. And then for her to say, I'm thankful for slavery, because the next part of that, if you go back to the original clip, says that she might be worshiping a tree. It's so weird to see a person of color repeat a colonizer phrase. It's so weird. I mean, what? Ew. So this is about the time when I start using the term bootlicker, because this type of person is willing to throw other people under the bus for their own protection, their own advancement. So she wants to get on that stage and just quote racist, bigoted rhetoric because she's under Ron DeSantis. We all know Ron DeSantis is a bigot anyways. So this is the perfect example of someone for the definition of bootlicker. This is a person who's decided to throw in not only her own community, but another community for the sake of saving her own skin, because she sees the way that Ron DeSantis is trying to, make the approach to running his state and running the country. The thing about it is we can all see from the results of how he's been running his state, how America would turn out if we were under Ron DeSantis. We would all probably be unalived within a year. And that's not to say that he would send out hit squads or anything like that. It's just from the lack of infrastructure and the lack of morals and ethics, we would all suffer for it. But she is deciding to do this because she sees how it's going, and she thinks if she does this, where she goes up onto a stage and quotes his same BS, that somehow should be exempt from any of the ramification of those words. The truth is have you ever heard the term face-eating leopard party? Well, she signed up for it. And it's not that I lack empathy, sympathy, or compassion. It's that I choose not to express it for someone who has such disregard for so many people. Yeah.
So this is all we got from this video. And first of all, I am going to start by saying that, man, some people are really very cruel, Some people are very wicked. They only think about themselves and not anymore. They are ready to push, their own people under the bus just to feel fine, or just to make other people feel fine. Why do black people think, why do they think about how palm-colored people feel? Because I don't see a reason why a full-grown ass woman, I mean, is she a Christian? I don't think so, because I mean, I don't understand this kind of Christianity. Because like, if somebody can mount the podium to say something like this to people, it means he is leading idiots, or she is an idiot leading idiots. Because I don't see how an educated person will sit down and listen to someone like this. I am sorry that I'm using these words, but then I am saying the reality. She says she is proud that slavery happened. If not, she would have been in Africa serving a tree. And can we separate religion or Christianity from politics? I mean, it is high time we stop doing that, because I don't see the relationship. Let politics be politics. Let Christianity be Christianity. And the fact that they keep buying people over, they always look for a way to, they look for grifters. People who do not have interest in Black community or what is going on in Black community, or people that do not want to identify with Black community, speak up for Black community. It is demonic. I'm sorry that I'm using these words, but then it is what it is. It was only yesterday. This is reality. It was only yesterday that I found out that palm-colored people, slave masters, used Black people as collateral in banks. Just yesterday that I found out. I never knew about this. And I think I even woke up, this is another day, I also woke up with that, thought in my head. How they use human beings as collateral. And it dawned on me that, people really went through hell. People really went through so many horrible things. You can imagine using human being as collateral. And then, if the master did not meet up the loan this thing, they are going to also sell off the person. I mean, the whole thing is just terrible. And somebody is out here wanting to defend slavery. I don't know how much she is earning, or how much she is going to get, or how much they are going to give her, that will make somebody come out to, speak such evil. I just don't get the whole thing. I just don't get how I see so many Black people, so many Black men, especially Black women, Black men mostly. But this Black woman, Candace Owen, what do I have to say about her too? But this particular one really touched me to the bone marrow. So she is trying to tell us that whatever that happened during slavery, that it was nothing, like nothing really happened. It was a great opportunity, because I remember a white woman saying that Black people should be very thankful for that slavery happened, that they brought them here to, the best country in the world, to, that they should stop complaining and, key into what is going on, and free their minds and enjoy what the system got in stock for them. And I looked at myself and I was like, what exactly do the system got for Black Americans or Black people in general? Because as it stands, I have never, nothing has ever been done or made to benefit Black people. Rather, it's always to hunt them. Man, I am just disappointed. Really. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.